people of Reddit. What was the best time of your life? Honestly, probably those late nights with friends just laughing over nothing like no cares in the world. Those vibes were unmatched. My grandparents were involved in a car accident in the 90s in which my grandfather died. I was around for 5 years old at the time, and every weekend after I would go over and stay at my grandma's. I would help her water her tomatoes, watch TV with her, and eat her amazing Italian cooking all weekend. She would later say I was a huge reason she emerged out of the depression of losing her husband. Best times of my life during that period. College, hands down. Equal time when my responsibilities were low, my energy was high, and my biggest worrying was whether I could turn a ramen packet into a gourmet meal with just a microwave and some stolen cafeteria cheese. Those were the days of true culinary innovation and questionable life choices. It was during the labor of my second child. I had my placenta extracted since it didn't came out on its own, so I need to be operated. I thought that was the end of everything. I had to through a lot of pain before the operation, and luckily, by God's grace, it's all success. The baby was fine and I had my operation successful, and for me that was the best time of my life, given the second life. When I spent a summer traveling with my family, when she still loved me. At the age of 57, cycling from Land's End to John O'Groats, UK, a distance of just under 1,000 miles in 9 days. Loved every second of it. Probably mid-childhood, being smart enough to comprehend things but still being too young that it's okay to be innocent and blissfully unaware. Don't get me wrong, my young adulthood is fine too, and I'd like to enjoy life as much as I could cause there's no better time than now. But I'd give anything to be a carefree child again, LOL. When my babies were little, I wish I could go back to that. Summer of 1975 music camp in Cazadero, CA. I was 13 and had just climbed Mount Shasta. 2020. I had a motorcycle, had friends, hung out with girls. Compared to my isolated past of all work and no play. I didn't know giving up on pleasing the system could be so pleasurable. From years of feeling lonely and literally having no one, to riding a motorcycle in a group with my first kiss riding with me. Holy shit, life is worth living. The last time I got to be with a woman. The most fun and carefree has been college and living at the beach after graduating. No real responsibilities yet, rent was $300, no student loans thanks dad, and tons of friends living right around me. Scene, head to my first shift on the boardwalk pool bar, then hit the ocean again. Change and head to my 4 o'clock shift at the restaurant, off by 10-11 p.m. and out frolicking with my friends every night. Spending days off going to concerts or beach days or just doing whatever we wanted. This was over 10 years ago now, and I miss it all the time now. I have a first grader and I've been sober for years. Life is amazing, but the best time was definitely those early 20s. I'm much happier though overall now at 32. I continued to live at home before attending graduate school in order to save money. I had money to burn, was earning $14 an hour, and was a full-time student. Every week, I purchased a box of cigars and a bottle of scotch. I went out with the gals. I purchased a motorbike. I purchased a vintage Corvette. For 2 years or so, life was great. After that, I got married and sold everything to pay for law school. When I became a mom, nothing got better than that. It's the very best thing to happen in my life. Childhood, it's been downhill since. A few weeks after my grandmother passed away. Mother Ann was extremely close with her. I actually lived with her most of my life and until her last day. She's someone I will always miss and look up to. The day she died was the hardest day of my life. But the reason 3 weeks later was the best time of my life was there was no longer anything holding me back from following my dreams and moving to Australia. It had always been a dream of mine, but never wanted to be so far away from. Was diagnosed with cancer and given 6 months to live. I told her about my plans and was super happy for me, although worried because of how dangerous working in the mines can be. She always told me to save my money and buy a house, but I never listened and always wasted my money getting loans I didn't need and buying motorcycles and stuff. So now in honoring her memory, I'm starting to turn my life around and make smart choices with the money I earn. My 20s were amazing. I love my kids, but it was pretty epic to not have never-ending responsibilities. 2012 before the world starts ending. Honestly, 2020 onwards. I started added medication and my life has gotten better. 8 hours of sex on MDMA. It's like dream sex. It's amazing. Despite troubles, probably now. Girls and lived at their farm hitchhiking up and down the state and even hopping on a freight train illegally on the back and eventually returned home to Chicago and continued to roam for a while. Age 23-25. Cheers! Ages 0-8 until my dad and sister sucked till about a year ago, so hope it stays okay. The summer in between graduating high school and starting college. I didn't have a care in the world. Rode the high of being done with school and spend most of the summer drinking and hanging out with friends. 2001 pre-9/11, I just didn't know it. I was in the army stationed in Hawaii. The military lifestyle there was so laid back that it really didn't feel like I was even in the army anymore. We had one close of business formation a week instead of daily. That means you didn't have to be present at work for the end-of-day check-in. So we would often meet on the North Shore beaches and play football for PT and once a week have to go to the motor pool, but other than that we were just living our best lives on Oahu. Then it happened and everything got real serious real quick. We trained all the time and had to go back to the real army. From the day I was born until today, seriously, I love being alive. I have a beautiful wife, kids, family, and friends. I also get very sad because I realize just how lucky I am and feel great sorrow for those who struggle through this world. It's why I always try to be a lifter of others and not a drag on them. I'll be dead soon enough, but will die a satisfied and loved person. I'm so lucky. Also, an especially great period was following the Grateful Dead around in the late 70s, early 80s. If I'm being honest, the 2 best times of my life have also been the 2 worst times of my life being in hospital. As much as it was a living nightmare for me, the care I received from the nursing staff was awe-inspiring. Nurses are angels, they're saints. I tear up when I think about what they did for me to make me feel comfortable in the most difficult moments of my life. Probably that summer I spent binge watching shows and eating cereal for every meal. Living the dream for real. Seeing my father from 23 years of my existence. Right here, right now. Graduating college and feeling like the world was full of possibilities. Being 18 years old taking ecstasy. Raising my of seeing their small jelly bean-sized fetuses on the ultrasound to seeing them as young adults. It's absolutely incredible to me that I helped created such wonderful people. I absolutely adore them. Life before 10 years old. February to April 2006. Then things went down dramatically over the next few years. The summer before heading off to college after high school graduation. I spent the majority of the summer drinking and hanging out with friends, having no worrying in the world and enjoying the high of being done with school. 16 through my 20s were pretty awesome. Yes, there were mood swings and breakups and wondering about my future. But life was also filled with tons of friends, laughter, fun nights, parties, good health, and my parents were both alive still. Age 21. Great shape and basically indestructible. I got my first apartment, almost done with college and getting good grades, had a nice job, part-time job, and was not reliant on my parents to cover any bills. The world seemed very big and open. I saw photos of myself at that age recently and could not believe how young I looked. 2 years ago, per my husband's car accident. He's okay, couple of fractures, but we were happier then. Just trying to get life back together after that has been one thing after another. Thanks for watching.